Another day at the office. And the Rosie and Bill show. Brand new studio. Oh, looking good.
Hey, partner. Come on in.
What you doing?
White balancing and doing a sound check at the same time. It's called multitasking.
Showtime. Hi everyone, welcome to the Rosie and Bill show.
Welcome indeed. It's great to be back. It's been a little while, but we are so happy to be here in our brand new studio, the Rosie and Bill show studio. Oh, I'm just so pumped up. Can you tell? It's been quite a journey though, hasn't it?
Yes, and it's officially our studio. And it's so exciting. But Bill, this has been a process. Now, we've been kind of on a hiatus for a while now.
Yeah.
For different reasons. Some professional, some personal, some gimpy issues.
Yeah, it's all good.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, it's worth it because we've had a lot of fun getting things set up. But when we first started, we didn't know where we were going to end up.
Yeah, literally. And the amazing thing is from the location to how the location looked when we first picked it, and we looked at dozens of different office spaces and places to have our studio. And that process takes time. But ironically, we ended up in the very first place that we looked at.
Yes, I mean, honestly, and I told you this the first day when we walked in here, I was like, this is it. I don't really need to look any further. But we did anyway because that's what you do. You know, you have to make sure you're getting the best deal and it's the best location and all of that. And no matter where we were going to go, we were going to need to make it our own and make it home for the Rosie and Bill show.
And that's something too, that when you have the kind of business that we have, and we actually have a brand new business we're going to tell you a little bit about as well, we needed some particular things from a layout standpoint, logistics standpoint, and there just weren't too many places that could really fit the bill. But I learned a lot about some other things too that I hadn't really given much thought to in the past. For example, the colors. What colors do we paint the wall? Because when we first came into this place, even though we loved the layout and we loved the location, I didn't really like the color too much.
Right. It was an office space. So generally office spaces are very conservative. And we wanted to add a little pizzazz.
I think we pulled that off. But in the process of pulling that off, we also pulled off, or should I say painted over, a couple of choices that look much better online or on the swatch than they did on the walls.
Just as a little tip, if you are going to paint a room in your house, definitely take the time to go into the store and grab the actual color swatches, because sometimes it looks the same online on the website and sometimes it just doesn't. It always comes a little darker, as we were warned. But we did kind of have to repaint. We had this one room, this one studio called the Kaleidoscope Studio, which we named after. We painted it because we had 3 different colors. We had kind of a pinkish purple, a beautiful blue, and then what we thought was a nice light yellow. But it was a little too bright, and we painted over it a more muted yellow. But it didn't work for the skin tone on camera, so we ended up going with a very conservative silverish gray color for our other business, which, Bill, I'll let you get the honor.
Live Positive Productions, LPP. And we are so happy to share that with you. One of the amazing things about our show is that it gives us an opportunity to do the thing we love to do. And for me, some big changes Rosie mentioned at the beginning of this show. Some very big changes from a personal career standpoint. I decided to leave the corporate world after many years and basically take my night job into my day job. But it's the job I've always loved. And then Rosie and I talked about the whole concept of what we were doing, and what we realized was we now have enough knowledge, which is kind of a scary thought in and of itself, to do this for ourselves. What if we were to come up with a way to try to help other people, whether on an individual level or with a business, to help them grow or help them add things from a marketing, advertising, promotional standpoint or awareness standpoint that maybe they didn't have before. And that's where Live Positive Productions comes into play.
And this has been fun as well. We designed our own logo, which we love. She's very happy and sweet. And we're ready to get started with that. We actually already have gotten started with that. We're shooting a commercial right now for that. So that's been great, and Bill's shoulder is getting better. He's still kind of the one-armed painter, but we had a lot of help with that.
Thanks, Tom, Matt, Gina, Karen, Tony, everybody that helped in that process.
That's right. Yes, it's all worth it though, because it's funny, people walk into the office, to the studio now, and they're immediately happy because it's a very warm and inviting environment.
Yeah. And I've got to give Rosie a lot of credit there because, like I said, I've always had, an inkling towards certain colors, but I didn't realize how much the color of an office can really impact the atmosphere. And I think it's just incredible that once we got the last of the kaleidoscope room colors on, and once we did the lobby in the hallway, and
there was a little faux pas with the lobby in the hallway. We weren't going to paint that, and so at the last minute, right before on New Year's Eve, we were like, okay, we're going to paint it peach. Not a good idea. It was like the inside of a cantaloupe. We were in a cantaloupe, and after the New Year, when we came in, I'm like, what do you think? And he was like, I can live with it. And I was like, I really can't. Yeah.
And I really couldn't either. But again, I defer when it comes to the colors a lot to Rosie. But in this particular case, it was unanimous that neither one of us liked it. So I think we made the right choice, though.
As soon as we painted over it, we both were able to just take a sigh and relief, and it just felt right. So that's been fun.
And when you have people come into the office, or whether it's movers or guys that we're helping with different aspects of what we've been doing over the last couple of months, and everybody walks in, and their first, or at least initial reaction is, wow, I feel really welcome here, or this is really comforting. When they walk in, those are the words that people are using, and it just made me feel so good because that's exactly what we were hoping for.
And the other part of it is like when you have something that's kind of ground zero and the world is your oyster to decorate it. We had no idea what we were going to end up with. Yeah. And we finally decided, with what you see, but even down to the decor, down to flowers, down to knickknacks and all that. But we do have some special things. On this bookshelf behind us, we have included some inspirational books because that's very important to us. And then I also have a gift that I had gotten. I have 3 godchildren, and this was from my godchild in California, Gunnar Sizemore. And he knows I love Lucy. So he gave me those little Funko dolls with Lucy and Ricky, Lucy in the Candy Factory. And so that's really a treat. And then, Bill, you have something else that was special on our bottom shelf as well.
Yes, I do. I have our future Academy Awards right there on the bottom shelf, just waiting to become the present somewhere in the future.
And then, of course, I Love Lucy, compliments of Bill. And the last thing is the Rosie and Bill show segment, He Said, She Said. They actually have a book. So in future episodes, we're going to delve into this a little bit and see what he said, she said really is.
Yeah, and the books that are on the shelf include this one here, one of my heroes, Kurt Warner, all things possible. And I have to admit, whether it's Les Brown or Pat Croce or Kurt Warner, and those are the books that are represented there over on the shelf, there's a common theme. Live your dreams from Les Brown. I feel great from Pat Croce, and that's how he would say it. I feel great! He'd probably jump up on the chair and yell it out. And all things possible. And like I said earlier, folks, I decided to leave the corporate world after a long time because I believe that all things are possible. And I believe it was time for me to live my dreams and work with my co-host and partner in crime here on this show and with the production company. And last but not least, because of that, I feel great. Yes, I do. And we're doing it. And we're having a blast. And we are so glad that you could be here with us. And we look forward to bringing you so much more in the weeks to come from this, our news. I still have to get used to this. This is so much more than where we started, isn't it?
Definitely. Our first show was actually in Bill's basement. I have to thank my cousin Phil, who watched the show, and he said, "Can you put a plant, something behind you?" And Bill and I were so busy learning the editing program and kind of figuring things out from a technical standpoint that we didn't even bother with a set other than a place to sit and a guest chair. So now we've kind of taken some time with this, and it's been great fun. Great fun.
Yeah, it really has. And even though it's finished right now, it's not really finished because I think over time, if we see things, whether it's another knick-knack for the shelf or just something else that we feel represents us, and I think that was really the key. When we were looking, whether it was online or we were going to the stores to pick out different things for this set, everything we selected, from the colors to the knickknacks to the flowers, had a reason or purpose behind it.
Yes,
or
and in
meaning
fact,
behind it.
Probably the picture that is hanging behind us will not be, that may change because we will have 2 other sets in the studio for our business clients for Live Positive Productions. So that will probably move to one of the other sets, and we have a beautiful one coming. So we have that to look forward to. We're excited about that as well. But as Bill said, when we were thinking things through, even designing the logo for Live Positive Productions, we had to sit down this time and say, okay, we're not going to throw this together. We really want to think about what does the show mean to us? What does the production company mean to us? And I think that even though it's a lot of work and a lot of decision making, I think in the end, when you really take your time, it pays off.
And for what it's worth, and I know many of you out there own a business or have owned a business, and I've worked with people for years in helping to start and flourish and grow in their business. But I had no idea all of the red tape and bureaucracy and administrative mumbo jumbo that you had to work through just to start a couple of LLCs. So it's been fun. I'll leave it at that. But I kept thinking to myself as I had to stay on hold, and when you dial to get some help with something and you hear average call time 37 minutes, and that's if you're lucky. A lot of times it's over an hour, and you're waiting, and you just got to navigate through that stuff because
you take the callback option.
Yeah, and when they say they'll call you back in an hour and 15 minutes, they'll call you back in an hour and 15 minutes, then put you on hold for 8 minutes before you actually get to somebody. But all that aside, you've got to get through that to get to the good stuff, like designing that logo, like picking this furniture, all of that stuff, because that's where the creative juices flow.
That was a whole other thing, the furniture.
Oh, yeah. Where we started isn't where we finished.
There were some...
Hello, return department?
Returns that happened, and multiple deliveries as well. Yeah. And we still have some big boxes around here that need to be broken down and recycled and all of that. Yeah. But that aside, so this time we are going to actually run our show on YouTube.
Yes.
So there will be a YouTube link that we will share, and we would appreciate if you would subscribe to the Rosie and Bill Show on YouTube so that you never miss an episode.
That's right, partner. And I will say, folks, that this show is the premiere of our relaunch, if you will, and we are going to be coming at you with a new episode each and every week. So like Rosie said, subscribe to our YouTube channel and you won't miss a thing. And we've got some extra special treats and all kinds of stuff coming, because now that we have the production company, we can create our own stuff and put it out. What do you think?
That's right. And we'll be on the road. Again, we have a couple episodes coming up on the road as well as in studio. So please stay tuned and thank you for watching.
We'll see you next week.